mosques in the area. Okba Mosque Foundation, the Islamic Center of Cleveland, the Muslim Association of Cleveland East, First Cleveland Mosque, Masjid Bilal, Masjid Waradin, and many of the other local mosques. I ask our interfaith friends and the general public, please get to know your Muslim neighbor. It's really important to stand in solidarity with religious minorities, refugees, and people of minority faiths who are really going through a difficult time right now. I want to say that we stand united with the Christchurch Muslim community and our Kiwi friends in their time of mourning and pledge our support. We encourage people worldwide to provide donations and support the families of the victims, as that information is now becoming available. There are many places to donate and to support the people there who are suffering. This type of violence and the hate that motivates it is unacceptable in any country, and people worldwide have the responsibility to stand up and say no. No one should fear for their safety when attending their house of worship. And make no mistake, there is a straight line here from what happened in Norway with Anders Breivik and what happened at the Tree of Life Temple in Pittsburgh to what happened to our fellow Muslims in New Zealand. This is an ideology of hate that is spreading and growing and is moving into an action-oriented phase. That's very important to understand, and we encourage law enforcement to make sure to stand up to this challenge and stamp out this kind of extremist violence by any community that perpetrates this. It's important to know that this tragedy occurred on Friday afternoon when the mosque would have been filled with people who gathered for Friday prayers. Just as the Pittsburgh killer attacked Jews at their synagogue and the Charleston killer attacked an African American church, these types of attacks are driven by racial, religious, and ethnic hatred, and every elected official has a responsibility to denounce these attacks in the strongest possible terms, including our president, who should have used the word Muslim in his tweet. These were Muslims who were killed. In the wake of this terrible attack, we call on elected officials to commit themselves to opposing hate speech and hate violence and dangerous speech that leads to hate and incitement in every form. But we equally call on citizens to demonstrate acts of solidarity with their Muslim neighbors, co-workers, and others. The epidemic of gun-related mass violence has ripple effects across the world. This horrific attack has not only impacted New Zealanders, but Muslims and faith communities across the world. Elected officials have the opportunity and the platform and the power to bring people together and affirm our human solidarity. This type of violence is the direct result of politicians exploiting social division and sowing fear. Whether it is separating families through the Muslim ban, taking children away from their families at America's border and putting them in cages, or dehumanizing refugees in Europe who are fleeing horrific violence, politicians who drive these messages of fear and hatred encourage the worst in society. To those who have tremendous power, there is tremendous responsibility to build social cohesion and harmony in society. We must not allow the world to be divided up by race or class or by any divisions. The attackers have an ideology that some people are invaders. Well, I say the only invader in our midst is hate, and hate must be expelled wherever we find it. The only ideology that is not welcome is the ideology of hate. Everyone else should have freedom and mutual respect. So please stand in solidarity with your Muslim community, get to know your Muslim neighbors, join us in the upcoming Ramadan, and I especially want to thank the Christian community who's come out during the period of Lent in their very important season, and to the rabbis who have come out, who usually would be right now preparing for their Shabbat service. We ask them to say their prayer of peace as they always do, and think of the Muslim community at this time. Thank you.
And to conclude, Councilman Matthew Zone. Councilman.